What's up? We're the Unlikely Candidates, and you're watching Says.
Did he freeze? What just
Yeah.
happened?
You froze.
Perfect intro.
Great. Let's try it again.
Okay.
Take two.
What's up? We're the Unlikely Candidates, and you're watching A-Sides.
This sound, I want it to surround me. Play it loud, play it loud, play it loudly. A-sides, around, around, around we go. A-sides, let's play all night and here we go.
First off, thank you guys for performing those two songs for me. I really appreciated it, and you guys obviously knocked it out of the park, so thank you.
Thanks, man. No worries. We've been doing a lot of them, so
Yeah,
it's a norm for us.
yeah. I was gonna say, like, are you guys? I don't want to say sick of it, but I mean, but like, are you guys used to just kind of doing these sessions at this point via? Bleh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Definitely.
But it's cool. I mean, at least we're staying busy and keeps, trying to add a little flame to the fire of the song. So
You
Yeah,
froze. You froze a little bit, but it's kind of in a cool way. If you Google Max Headroom, you'll appreciate it.
It sounds like
Damn
the
it.
Matrix. It's like,
am I on Wi-Fi? I am
No,
on
man.
Wi-Fi.
It's
In
been
in the 80s, there was this guy Max Headroom who was just like that, and it was actually pretty cool. But
yeah.
I mean, at least you're performing, right? I guess in some kind of way. I usually do these sessions in person, and I kind of miss it, but this is kind of feeding it a little bit. I have no music ability at all, but I kind of vicariously live through guys like you. So, but
I think we're a little nostalgic of interaction with people in general. So
Yeah.
yeah, like I feel
I
like
wouldn't say we're sick of them. We're not sick of them because it's always like progressing the band some way or the other. So
no, but you guys have been. It's a silly question, but you guys would have normally, I'm assuming, been on the road at this point, right about
Oh,
now.
yeah. All year.
for sure.
Hardcore, yeah.
But on the flip side of that, would there be a high low right now?
Yeah, there would be. Yeah.
So
There,
Yeah.
we wrote it, or at least started it like a week before the quarantine. So
Okay.
it's like we would have had it, but like, yeah, I don't know. Like it probably would have taken a while longer because it needed a lot of like work, and I wouldn't have been able to do all of that so easily on the road. So, catch 22 there.
Right.
Maybe it wouldn't have reacted as well. I don't know, like with people at home and like the whole quarantine thing happening, it like I feel like people latched onto it a little bit more.
And I mean, it definitely has well, I don't want to say, well, yeah, I'll say an unfortunate different, weight to it than normal, I guess. And,
Totally.
And you did you change it up a little bit or subtly kind of add a different kind of level to it?
Yeah, I definitely added the whole song is about a guy like kind of lonely in his apartment, and that kind of became the case for quarantine. But I definitely definitely made the imagery and a lot of the things that I wrote about a lot more visceral and relevant to what was going on for me at the time. So the quarantine definitely changed the song for sure.
Yeah. It's really kind of difficult for me, as a quote unquote journalist, to not talk about the quarantine when it's all you can really talk about. So I'm going to try to ask a question that has nothing to do with the quarantine and just ask you guys, what for you comes first? Is it the music, the lyrics? I'm just curious.
Usually the music.
Yeah, music, I would say.
Yeah. Is it something?
Cool. Would you say the music as well?
Does it?
Yes, music.
it doesn't change song to song? Like, is there sometimes like, you get a lyric and
Very rarely.
Yeah.
Like usually, very rarely. Like usually put the lyrics over like a song because it kind of sets the mood. Working backwards seems to be a lot harder because you have to fit lyrics to this. Like it always seemed a lot more organic to me to like just take whatever the mood was and like build a concept out of that.
And I'm going to ask you a very cliched question that I would ask you before the pandemic. With the success of Novocaine, was there any pressure going into the studio to record another song? I wouldn't ask that shit. That's just like a cliche kind of thing. So I'm going to say, did you kind of put any pressure on yourselves? Like, never mind this. I mean, because it was so huge, like, never mind having, there's something to it of having like a successful song, but to have such a successful song, I just know that I put pressure on myself just having a successful day. Never mind having a successful song that's just completely amazingly successful.
It's nice to get that question. I don't know if we've gotten that one before.
You lying.
There was tons of pressure, man.
You liar.
Yeah.
I almost called you a sack of shit. We're not that close.
Yeah, we are. It's fine. Yeah.
You can. Go ahead.
It's like, you lying sack of shit.
Kyle, I would say there was pressure, and definitely the pressure was like cut off at the head when we were sent home. So like the song went #1 and like 3 days later we were sent home. So
yeah, and we knew that I'd been writing all year to find like a follow-up, but I don't think that there was any clear front runner until like High Low came about. And like literally that was kind of a buzzer beater because like literally probably 3 months after we wrote it, we put it out. And yeah, I didn't have a lot of time to write another like big radio single. So there was some pressure for sure. And we tried to write something that sounded like Novocaine, but we're terrible at like recreating songs that we've already done. That's why we always skip around style like constantly.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of pressure.
but pressure that you put on yourselves. It's not like an industry pressure, right? Or is it both?
I think it's kind of like half and half.
It was both for sure.
Yeah.
You have the label, like obviously wanting you to do well. We have radio PDs coming out to shows in like almost every state. Like it was just performance wise, I think there's always a pressure to like do your best. And obviously for Kyle, there's a whole lot of pressure because like he's the front man and singing. And if it was me, I would be like fucking up lyrics every night. But I've been very proud of him. So
I do that. I do that.
But it's not like bad.
Lyrics every night.
It's not like bad.
Sometimes it is.
You're pretty good at
Sometimes
faking
it is. You just keep singing and like make up words as you go along that fit
as long
into
as
the melody.
Right. Yeah.
90% of the people don't notice and the other 10 are pretty pissed.
I mean, you guys have been together for a little bit though. I mean, was it extra sweeter? Like it wasn't like, you guys had to kind of grind it out a little bit to get to this, huge, mega, fantastic hit. I mean,
Thank you.
it must have been pretty sweet, right? I mean, no, it was awful, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, man, we've been doing it, I guess like professionally for like close to 8 years now. I've been playing drums with them since I was 22. I'm 32 now, so it's like 9-10 years later we finally got like some credible recognition. So it was definitely great for us as a band because we all grew up together in that sense, and it's been the same like roster. So it's peaks and valleys in the music industry constantly. So it was great to like taste some success for a little bit,
Yeah. And I think I asked you this before I hit record on the old Zoom. And if I asked you before this. I mean, on Zoom, no one really cares. But I mean, your song, your songs are very timely, unfortunately. But I mean, we kind of keep getting thrown different shit every single day, especially this year. And it's not really like I'm asking a very super inventive question, but like, has it changed your songwriting right now? It's not, normally right now you'd be on the road, you wouldn't really be thinking of, oh, I'm going to write more music. I thought you were hanging up on me, by the way. You were like, fuck you, John.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, because everything has changed so much, and unless you're planning like this mega drive-in tour, you're kind of not forced, but like in order to just create and create and create. And the world as it is right now, obviously I would think it's there, right? So are you writing music right now? Are they reflective of the time? Is it impossible not to write music that's reflective of the time that we're in right now?
It definitely is. I mean, yeah, definitely. We have been writing stuff that has to do with the quarantine. I think it's just like, whatever's around you, and that happens to be what's going on. Like, I wrote the lyrics to one of the songs that referenced it. And there's another song that we started, Toxic Summer, that I can't decide if I'm going to write about it being like just a terrible summer that you're locked in quarantine with somebody, or or write about something else. So it's definitely bleeding in for sure.
And in terms of, and you are probably getting this a lot. I mean, just your band name alone is pretty reflective of the last two candidates who are running for office. I mean, I don't consider you guys a political band in any way. I mean, is there any political element with you guys at all?
We try to stay away from politics, I think.
Please do. I mean, I think it's refreshing, to be honest with you,
But the name obviously becomes
in the
more
past,
and more relevant every 4 years, so. Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, we're not a super political band. Like, I've written songs about like socio-political things, like police brutality or stuff like that. But other than that, like, no, we mostly don't write about politics. And if I do, I kind of do it on like more of like an underlayer of the songs. Like, a lot of times I'll write it about something, but I'm using imagery and there's like a whole other layer going on beneath it. So like, I'll pepper stuff into the songs, but like, I don't usually specifically do like straight up political songs.
That's pretty much just for you. I don't think anybody else ever realizes.
No one knows. Yeah, no one gets it. I hope so, but like, nobody does. I wrote like a song called Ringer about like just a girl who's like the embodiment of like capitalism and the American dream. And because the chorus was, she's a ringer, put a ring around her finger, it's now a wedding song. So
there you go. I think that I think it's refreshing, and I think that I think that there's enough political undertones and everything that you can get anywhere.
Yeah, and I think everything's also so divided right now that it's just like, we want to distract people from just like what's going on, and like another band that's like pitching right or left is just kind of monotonous to me right now. So
yeah, and it doesn't seem to be working for bands like Trapped. I don't know if you get that reference.
I do. I think they're getting shit on.
I don't know. But yeah, man, guys, I will say this, like the one great thing that I find about your music is that it's accessible, especially for like, obviously high-low is going to resonate now for because it is about isolation, but what I love about your music in general is that you can feel it. You can feel the lyrics, and even if the world is so terrible that what might have been terrible 6 months ago is actually okay. So I don't know if that makes sense. You can relate to it and not feel like shit, and it just actually is great to have accessible music that sounds good, that makes you feel good, and even if the lyrics actually hold weight, it isn't heavy enough that you can't take. I don't know if that makes any sense.
It does.
Thanks, man.
But yeah, so I'm gonna leave on that point. But, all right, you guys, it was a pleasure. Thanks again for playing for me. I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely, John.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thanks, man.
All right, take care.
Later, guys.
Later, man.